Good afternoon. Before we begin, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the Town of Norwood's IT department for establishing and supporting our ability and the ability of all municipal boards to continue their important public business during these trying times. Due to the current situation in the Commonwealth, this board has not had the opportunity to meet since March 5th. And it is our first meeting since then, and it is also our first virtual meeting. So I please ask the public's indulgence for any hiccups that may happen. We will be conforming to the Mass Open Meeting Law. And we will be, there you go, Martha.
Hi.
There you go.
Hi, Martha.
We'll be conforming with the Mass Open Meeting Law as it has been adjusted for these times. And we will be conducting the published business agenda of the council before we open a public discussion or input. Thank you all for participating. And having reached the appointed hour, and with the quorum present, I now call the June 4th Council of Aging meeting to order. Mr. Vice Chairman, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Please remain seated, everybody, but put your hand to your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. In these troubling times, I ask you all to take a moment for silent meditation. Remember those men and women in service throughout the world who are protecting our freedoms. Remember our public safety personnel who daily risk their lives protecting our lives and property. Remember those public health professionals who have and are serving us in these troubling times. And also, please remember all those who have suffered a personal loss since we have last met. Okay. Madam Secretary, would you please call a roll call?
Chairman Tom Tobin.
Present.
Vice Chairman Ted Mulvihill. Secretary Judy Bartuca, present. Members Martha Calamaria and Fran Kenny.
Let the record show that all 5 members of the council are in attendance. Delia, would you please give the secretary's report for the last meeting from
March 5th, Thursday. The opening. Chairman Tom Tobin opened the meeting at 1:05 p.m. Vice Chairman Ted Mulvihill led the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence honoring our troops and safety officers. Roll call. All members present. Secretary's report. Accepted as read. Financial report. Chairman Tom Tobin read the report. Donation for bus was not included in the report. Accepted as read. Legislative report. Liaison Martha Calamaria read her report. Town election will be held on Monday, April 6th for the following: 2 for the 3-year term for selectmen, 1 for 1 year for moderator, 2 for 3-year term Board of Health, 2 3-year school committee, 1 3-year for finance, 1 and 5-year for planning board, 3 years for library trustee. Also, constable and housing authority. Many openings for town meeting members also. State officials awarded $60 million in funds and tax credit to affordable housing. Locally, proposal to add tax exemptions to seniors and veterans will be part of the town meeting warrant, following the approval of the board. HESCO report. Liaison Fran Kenny read her report. Home health aides will be receiving an increase in their hourly rate, which they deserve. Difficulty in finding rides to medical appointments is a concern. The problem is the cab companies, not HESCO. Any questions on insurance should be going to Shine and not Trish. The McMoran a 5K fundraiser will be on March 14th. Last report has 250 runners. Outreach report. Outreach Director read the report for January and February. Director McCarthy read her report for January and February. Gary Highlander is scheduled for every other month for 2020. January's triad meeting featuring Norfolk County Sheriff McDermott. February 4th, tax preparation begins on February 4th and continues through April 14th. February 13th, Joey B. Bob performed. February triad meeting featured Aubrey Show, Impact Norwood. February 25th, Jerry Kelleher presented his movie, The Gentleman from Norwood. Director McCarthy thanked Trish for all her hard work. She also thanked Helen for taking the seniors to a Sunday concert. Glee Cub Show will be on March 13th. The bus report. Director McCarthy read the report. Bus is ready and will be delivered March 6th. She will keep us updated. Vice Chairman report. A warrant will be placed for 2 real estate abatements if qualified for disabled veterans. A $400 a year abatement in Norwood, Walpole has $800 abatement. Will be brought to the town meeting to ease burden on seniors. A pizza party will be held on March 27th with town manager to benefit Circle of Hope on Friday, March 27th at 12 p.m. Having finished our business according to the bylaws, meeting adjourned at 1:25 p.m. Respectfully submitted, Gia Bartuka, Secretary.
Thank you, Delia.
Motion to accept?
Motion's been made. Is there a second? Raise your hand if you have a second. Okay. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll take a vote and I'll call roll. Vice Chair Ted Mulvihill,
Aye.
Secretary Delia Bartuka, Member Martha Calamaria,
Aye.
Member Fran Kenny,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. The minutes have been accepted. As required by bylaws, every year after the new members join the board or the reappointments join the board on an annual basis, we must elect the chair, the vice chair, and the secretary of the board. At this time, I'll entertain a motion for that election.
Motion that we.
Ted, did you have a motion?
I did, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for that. I think for the purposes of discussion, I will make the motion that all officers currently serving remain in place until such time as the board can safely meet again in person in accordance with state regulations.
Is there a second for that motion? Martha, you second? Well, I have 2 seconds. Okay. Again, I'll call roll. You can raise your hand and I will advise who is voted. Vice Chairman Ted Mulvihill,
Vice Chairman votes aye.
Secretary Delia
Aye.
Bartuka,
Aye.
Fran Kenny, Martha Calamaria. Raise your hand. Okay. And the chair votes aye. Not because I want to continue. But I understand what's going on right now. So we will suspend the election until such time as we can meet, which won't be until August. Okay. Unless we have a special meeting. Could I please have the legislative report, Martha? Jack, unmute her, please.
There you go. See, when it's green, it's outside.
Okay. All right, are we all set?
Yes,
Okay.
I can hear you.
Yes, okay. There are no reports from the state legislature due to the current crisis, but locally, the town election will take place on Monday, June 8th, from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. In-person voting will be held at the local schools and the Civic Center. Before any election, those not wishing to vote in person may apply for an absentee ballot through the Norwood Town Hall Clerk's office at 781-762-1240. All ballots must be mailed back to the town before Election Day. So it's still time to go up to the town hall or contact them, but the ballot would have to be in by noon tomorrow. In addition to the 2 seats on the Board of Selectmen, there's one question concerning the changing the title from Board of Selectmen to Select Board. There is also a race for the town meeting member in District 8 with 11 candidates for 10 seats. It's great to see the interest in town meeting. Persons going to the polling locations will be given a PPE kit with masks, gloves, and a pen. On May 28th, the Norwood League of Women Voters hosted a virtual candidates forum for the Board of Selectmen's race. The modified forum aired live on NCM, the government channel, and will be seen frequently. The 4 candidates were interviewed from their homes and included solicited questions from the public. The forum can be found on NCM website. Our thanks to Chairman Paul Bishop and Alan Howard for their many years of service on the Board of Selectmen. Respectfully submitted, Martha Colombree.
Thank you very much. There's no motion required to accept the report. Fran, could you please give the HESCO report?
Okay, thank you. Yes, I have a HESCO report. Meals on Wheels program continues to provide hot meals delivered Monday through Fridays. And HESCO also provides nutritional frozen snack items on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And on May 20th, HESCO had a one-day high of 690 meals delivered. HESCO is in collaboration with the Council on Aging to deliver over 4,500 pounds of frozen meat to adults in the region. The frozen meat is supplied by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Home care is continuing with full operation. All services follow the guidelines to protect the health and safety of the consumer, their families, and the home care providers. Shine remains available via telephone to provide necessary information still regarding Medicare, Mass Health, and other insurance programs. And family caregiver support continues to provide support to families that are experiencing stress and anxiety during this time. There is a phone scam going on where adults identify themselves from Shine program and request banking information to assist with receipt of the federal stimulus payment. Shine counselors are not calling older adults to discuss stimulus payment, and they would never request banking information. If you should receive one of these calls, please call Elder Affairs at 617-222-7416. HESCO provides many essential services to older adults in our communities. Please call 781-784-4944 to inquire about services and support available. I can't wait till this virus is over and our routines are back to somewhat normal. I hope all is well and everyone is safe. Respectfully submitted, Fran Kenny.
Thank you very much, Fran. I think we all mirror your. I have a question. Carrie, have they approached the Norwood Senior Center to distribute frozen meat to the seniors? You're muted.
Yes, I am in constant contact twice a week with HESCO Elder Services.
Okay. Trish, could you please give the outreach report Outreach Coordinator Trish Monahan.
Sure. So it's a little different this week because we didn't do the whole this many of this, this many of that. So I just want to give you an idea of what we did, what I was up to, and the whole staff here. So we haven't been able to get anybody in here face to face. So I've been doing a lot of stuff over the phone. I've been meeting people out front to do notaries with the whole gloves, mask. Everybody has their own pen, sanitizing everything. We've been doing food shopping for people. I've run to the supermarket. I've run to get medications for people who are uncomfortable going to the store. I set up one person on mail order because they didn't want to even have somebody running to come to the door. So we got them set up on mail order for delivery, arranged delivery from one of the pharmacies. Another person got laid off, so I got him on unemployment. And then he lost his health insurance and got him onto a health connection plan because he's over 60, but not quite ready for Medicare. And then after that, we've been checking in with the seniors, just seeing how they're doing, how they're coping, what they need, if there's anything we can do for them. I've gotten a lot of calls for where's my stimulus payment, and some people, if they didn't file taxes, they have problems. So if they weren't getting Social Security, they hadn't filed taxes, they're still eligible for it. Or in some cases, if they were getting Social Security, but the banking information wasn't there for one reason or another, we added the information back into that. There's been fuel assistance issues, Medicare, Mass Health, the normal everyday Medicare and Mass Health problems. So it's all kept me pretty busy through the whole thing.
It's a lot more complicated than it normally is because you're doing a lot of it remotely, which can be difficult for a lot of the seniors. And
well, yeah, it's hard enough to follow when you're face to face.
Yes.
So it's a little bit worse and a little bit more difficult, and a few more phone calls back and forth. And, yeah, but you find a way. That's all. You find a way.
Thank you very much, Trish.
Thank you.
Madam Director, Executive Director, Kerry, could you please give your report?
Yeah, and just so that everyone knows, when someone else is speaking, it's beneficial if everybody mutes, so you don't hear any feedback. So if Martha and Tom, if you guys mute, it might be a little better.
I'll try.
All right, Tom, you should try to mute Tom so I don't get the feedback. Okay. All right. So good afternoon, everyone. My report today will include the months of March, April, and May. March 10th was as everyone was exiting the center after enjoying a wonderful afternoon at our annual St. Patrick's Day party. Governor Baker was on television declaring a state of emergency, and at that moment, all programming stopped here at the center. The staff of the center immediately shifted their roles with the one purpose, and that was to help the seniors of Norwood and their families. All the department heads of the town came together on multiple conference calls to prepare what was to come. We were all given the tools to work remotely if need be. The director of the health department gave us the guidance we needed to continue serving the residents of Norwood in a safe manner. The town manager provided us with additional funding resources to help those in need. While the center closed its doors, the staff of the senior center opened their hearts. We all worked together to outreach to seniors either by phone, mailing, robocalls, flower drop-offs, or lunch deliveries. Andrew and Diane have remained in the kitchen, and our lunch is busier than ever, sometimes serving 75 people. We have established a safe curbside pickup and have added some surprises in there as well. We have shopped for people in the town, picked up prescriptions, delivered masks, sanitizer, and sometimes toilet paper. The staff still remains very busy. When we are not serving the residents of Norwood, we are doing some housekeeping. And Adrian has been busy painting the library, and he's now currently painting the big room. The hours are set as 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., as noted in the April 1st, 2020 email to the chairman, but many days we are here long after that getting what is needed done. Exercise programs continue either on Norwood Cable or via Zoom. The newsletter has been distributed to over 1,000 people during the months of April and May. As director, I have 2 weekly calls with HESCO Elder Services, a weekly call with MCOA and EA, and the local directors meeting. I also assist in helping those in town with food insecurities and have worked with other department heads and town officials in servicing the residents. At this time, we have no answers to when we will resume programming at the center. We will take our direction from the governor's orders and work with the health department and COA board for safe opening. The Executive Office of Elder Affairs stresses the importance of having an opening plan and policies approved by the health department. Thank you to all those who have called the center, mailed us cards, walked by our window with a smile and a wave. It really means a lot to us. The center is nothing without the people who participate and call it their second home. Special thanks to my staff, especially Ellen, Trish, and Nancy, who have gone above and beyond assisting the residents of Norwood. Fran and Lorraine have given true meaning to the word volunteer, and we could not do this without them. They have been here every single day since this whole thing started. Anne Marie unfortunately had some medical issues, so she hasn't been in. She's returned this week. But other than that, without Fran and Lorraine, these seniors would not be fed. The communication would not get to us. They have been just angels. And that concludes my report for the month of the COVID months, I guess we would say. Respectfully submitted, Carrie McCarthy.
Thank you very much, Kerry. It is trying for all of the staff. I know. I pop in occasionally and I see the frustration. And you miss the personal contact of the individuals that come in every day. So I understand. Could you please give the bus report?
She's muted.
You're
Oh,
muted, Carrie.
sorry. All right, so Ellen's bus report. Ellen's bus report, right now I have the month of April's. She put 509 miles on the bus, 77 gallons of fuel, 4 medicals at that time, 41 shoppers, and she delivers an average of 6 lunches a day. I will say what we have done with the bus, and we immediately did with the bus, is cap it off at 3 people each on each ride. So they're spaced 6 feet apart. It's been approved by the Department of Health that was okay. We have a special sanitizer machine that the bus is cleaned with. She has extra gloves, masks, and sanitizer on for anyone who gets in onto the bus that doesn't have a mask. And she is sanitizing their hands when they when they get on the bus and when they get off the bus. Ellen, we know that Ellen is amazing, but let me tell you, no one has put themselves more at risk during this pandemic than Ellen right now. She is a rock star. You are too, Trish, but she's a rock star.
Okay. And I agree. I'm sure the board
I'm no Ellen.
also agrees. Do we have, I don't believe we have any unfinished business. We reviewed the minutes tonight previously, and I don't think there is any unfinished business on the agenda. Several new items, and they're really for discussion only, and there will be no final votes taken today. One was the question which, Madam Director, you kind of covered regarding the reopening. It still is a transient situation. We're subject to the, I won't say whims, but we're subject to what's going to happen up on Beacon Hill, and it'll flow down to us through our municipal health departments, etc. So I'm going to pass on that first item because I don't think there's anything we can go further with unless somebody on the board would like to ask a question. Seeing none, we'll move on. The second item on the agenda was really, and this is really upfront work. This is not something that's, I understand it's not something that's going to happen tomorrow. I'd like to establish a working group with 2 council members, and you carry on it, to come up with some type of policy should we get the sedan for transport. I'd ask for volunteers to serve on it, and you could meet a couple of times and really establish your policy so that we have them in the policy manual, and it kind of covers the center for any questions. Go ahead, Ted.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd be proud and honored to volunteer to serve with Kerry on this committee.
Okay, we have one other. Martha? And Carrie, you don't have a problem with working with them to come up with policies, so we'll have something. Because it's going to make your
Not at
job
all.
easier. It's going to make your job easier in the long run. So there won't be any arguments of who gets service, who doesn't. That's the biggest concern I see. Okay, and the last agenda item,
Mr. Chair,
yes.
I'm sorry if I may. Can we have any, is there any information available as to what the make, model, and type of sedan we're talking about? You're muted, Tommy.
I don't think it's going to be finalized yet as to what we'll be getting. It was a budget item that was reflected. Whether or not we even get it's a question of town meeting, but I thought it'd be a good idea to have something established in advance so we could work from it. That was my only concern. I'd rather have it done in advance than try to backtrack once we've got the sedan. The last item is really, we need to look at our bylaws because that's a living document, and it's the way the council has been operating changes over time, and it's now time for us to review our bylaws and take a look at them and refresh them, update them, whatever. There's probably typos in there too that need to be fixed. So I'd ask for 2 members of the board to sit down and review it and make recommendations to the rest of the board. Fran, Kenny? Anybody else? Delia? Okay. Thank you. That's all I had for new items. I'll open it up now to the council members to bring forth anything that they may have. I'll start off with Ted.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Everybody, good afternoon. I'd like to start with Memorial Day. It certainly was different. You saw the program that Norwood Community Media put together for the town. It was poignant. It was certainly different. We had live portions of the program, and we had remotely contributed portions of the program, and it was pre-recorded before the Memorial Day observance. And we tried to incorporate as many traditional elements of our Memorial Day observances into the program as we could. Excuse me, but obviously we couldn't include all of the traditional elements. But by and large, we made sure that there was recognition and remembrance and respect given to those who made the ultimate sacrifice. And we provided honors as they were available to our departed comrades on Memorial Day. Next, I'd like to talk about the League of Women Voters and commend them for their excellent job, again, in a challenging and new environment on providing public forum for candidates night. Martha, please pass on from the Department of Veteran Services sincere appreciation to the League for the professional manner in which that was conducted. And the League has always been there for the voters of Norwood, and I know that they will continue to do so. The last thing is for our board. I couldn't be more proud to serve alongside the members of this board. Everybody is, as you all know, in municipal government, we all wear many hats. And as members elected and appointed to this board, we wear many hats as well. But as this thing has progressed, this new reality, more and more members of this board are stepping up until we're at the point we are now where virtually everybody is doing something above and beyond the call of duty and their duties to this board. And I would like to just make it very publicly known that I am so very proud to be a part of this board, including members and leadership. And that's all I have, sir. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Ted, for your kind words. Could I ask Delia if you have any comments or any additions?
Well, I'd just like to thank everyone, and I think now through the television and everything, I think people will realize all the work that's done at the senior center, because I don't think they realize all the work, especially in this time, that they actually come every day and work here. And I'm really proud to be part of it myself, and I wish I could do more. And looking forward to a better future, and thank you.
Thank you, Delia. Martha, do you have anything?
Thank you. I'm part of the senior generation that has requested that we have to stay at home as much as possible. So I'm sorry I haven't been able to help out at the senior center with the food pantry. But if there's any way that we can make calls, get will calls, or it's anything we could do from home, we'd be very happy and appreciate the hard work that everyone else is doing, because my generation really depends on your help. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Martha. Fran, do you have anything?
I'd like to thank everybody here, Carrie and the staff. They've been wonderful. God love them. And I want to also remind everybody to vote on Monday, okay? They've got all kinds of protection up there for you. So they should feel free to go in. But thank you, ladies, for all your help and being here for us older folks. We sure appreciate it. That's it.
Thank you, Fran. I would also like to echo the remarks of everybody and thank the senior center staff and the volunteers that continued services that we have been allowed to provide under the executive order. Due to the current situation, we're missing one of the council reports, which is the deposit report, because we haven't been able to get in and count the money and make the deposits. So there hasn't been a report. We'll have to catch up on that. And I'll meet eventually with Kerry, and we'll get that straightened out. It's my responsibility as chair of that committee. So hopefully our next meeting, if the guidelines are relaxed somewhat, will be in person. We will not be doing a virtual, although I think it went pretty well today, considering how some of us are rookies doing this. Some of us have had some experience with video conferencing, but not quite in this manner. I want to commend everybody for their hard work, and I want to thank everybody for what they've done. Our next meeting will be August 6th at the Senior Center at 1 p.m. So be there or be square.
Yay.
I'll entertain a motion to,
hopefully.
I'll entertain a motion to close the council agenda and open for public input.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Is the motion made? Is there a second? I have 2 seconds, so okay. I guess we have seconds. Vice Chair, how do you vote?
Chair votes aye.
Secretary? Raise your hand if you're having trouble unmuting.
I vote aye.
Fran?
I vote aye.
Martha?
Aye.
The chair votes aye. So the business portion of the meeting is closed and the public input or discussion is open. Is there anybody who has joined us that would like to bring forward anything to the council? I know we had a couple of people who were talking about joining. I don't know if they did. Well, hearing none, I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chair.
Motion to adjourn has been made. Is it seconded?
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Vice Chair.
Aye.
All right.
Secretary, raise your hand. Fran, you said aye. Martha, you agree? All right, and the chair agrees. That's unanimous vote.